Yo. Welcome back to another video on the LQ Talks Hoops channel. Game 2 of the NBA Finals has been done. I can't lie, very surprising game for me. I mean, I was falling asleep a tiny bit in the third quarter, but I mean, it's 3 AM, you can't blame me. But it was quite an enjoyable game. Back and forth action. Miami Heat went on some runs, then the Nuggets went on some runs. We saw some amazing performances from role players. We saw some amazing performances from all-star, all-NBA, MVP quality players. But let's get right into it and find out how the Miami Heat beat the Denver Nuggets at home. Let's go. Denver Nuggets haven't lost the game before this game at home since March. In the entirety of the playoffs, they didn't lose a single home game, whether that be to the Phoenix Suns or the Los Angeles Lakers. Even LeBron couldn't beat them at home. But somehow, someway, the Miami Heat have done it. So I've got some notes. I wrote some notes after like the first half. I was tired, so I didn't bother writing any notes. But I've got notes at the end of the game as well. So start from the very beginning. It was a slow Denver start, a really slow Denver start. They couldn't really make a lot of shots. Nikola Jokic played decently, attacking quite a bit, but their shooting wasn't great. We saw Jamal Murray miss a few shots. We saw MPJ miss a few shots. But they kept in it through the offense of Nikola Jokic, still attacking the paint, still attacking Bam Adebayo. But I really liked the intensity of the Miami Heat. It wouldn't be necessarily fast break points, but it'd be quick. Get the ball straight to the corner, Max Strus open look, 3. Or get the ball to Gabe Vincent, quick screen, 3. Easy like that. And Bam Adebayo putting up the ball so quickly, it's like I said after game 1, he needs to put the ball up quickly because Denver Nuggets can't get into their defensive scheme. Because once they get in their defensive scheme, it's going to be a long day to try and score. I didn't like the defense of the Denver Nuggets even with that defensive scheme. I feel like Max Strus was slipping a lot. You know Max Strus is never going to set a screen, but he's slipping into the corner, and for some reason there's a loss of communication and Aaron Gordon isn't following him into the corner. He's never going to set that screen. So you got to follow him into the corner. And like, I feel like for the Denver Nuggets, if they're going to switch constantly, they need to pay attention. They need to constantly be looking at who's switching. A lot of the times KCP fell asleep when there was a switch going on, leaving Max Strus open for a wide open 3 just because he was slightly to the left as to where KCP thought his man was. KCP knew he had a switch, but he didn't know where Max Strus ended up on the perimeter. So Max Strus has an open look. The Miami Heat did make some mistakes though towards the end of the quarter. They were doubling off of Nikola Jokic, which makes no sense. Nikola Jokic is, like we said, constantly going to make that pass. In the second quarter, we saw the bench of the Denver Nuggets go on a run. Christian Braun, I've said it time and time again, he does everything right. He does everything you need to do right. He doesn't take ridiculously stupid shots. He plays great defense. He got 2 steals, I think, in the second quarter, and I think he made 3 field goals, 6 points, all in the second quarter. But he makes the right decision every time. Gets a couple assists as well. If he sees a shot that's contested, he'll pass it out, make sure they get a good open look. But yeah, I really enjoyed Bruce Brown and Christian Braun, and I enjoyed Jamal Murray as well, being the facilitator, the playmaker, showcasing that although Nikola Jokic is on the team, he can play make a little bit too. I mean, at least there was no drop coverage from Miami. They did make that adjustment, so there wasn't really that many wide open mid-range shots for the Denver Nuggets, or wide open 3s as much for the Denver Nuggets. But I mean, we did see Michael Porter Jr. miss a couple shots, which he should be making, which ultimately led to be a detriment to the team. So in the second quarter, I feel like that run by the bench, leading into the third quarter as well, where Nikola Jokic went on an amazing run as well. I thought that was really impressive as well, and I quite enjoyed Nikola Jokic taking it into his own hands because this team couldn't really shoot, and he ended up with 5 turnovers and only 4 assists, which shows just how much the Miami Heat were cutting off the passing lanes and cutting off the passes that was there to be made. I did see a question in an interview about forcing Jokic into pass or shoot. You're not forcing Jokic to do anything. You're just making it difficult for the other players because you can't really force Jokic to do anything. He'll do something with whatever you give him. But Jokic he'd just be doing stuff in the third quarter, man. He'd just be scoring. Like, I don't know if Cody Zeller's going to play a lot of minutes. I did like Kevin Love's minutes in this game. especially starting. I did like that from a defensive standpoint. He is a big body, which means that Aaron Gordon can't just be on Max Strus the entire time, because he's a taller body, and Michael Porter Jr. didn't have the greatest defensive game in game 2. Game 1 he was good defensively, game 2 not as much. So Kevin Love was a good adjustment by Eric Spoelstra in this game, but I'm not sure Cody Zeller will have a lot of minutes going into the next couple games, because every time he was in the game, I swear, Jokic was feasting again and again and again. From a defensive standpoint from the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler's got to take those mid-ranges more often. I mean, he was slow to pick up. He did get a few more free throws in this game because he was a little bit more aggressive, but he needs to take those mid-ranges. Nikola Jokic is playing drop coverage on him constantly, and he's looking to facilitate. When you have a wide open mid-range, just shoot the ball, Jimmy. But going into the fourth quarter, Jimmy took my advice. It felt like they were close in, you know, the Miami Heat. The Denver Nuggets could never fully pull away. And so all it needed was someone to keep the Miami Heat inside a 10-point range. And then at some point, Jimmy Butler can just explode. Bam Adebayo's had a good game up to this point. He's taken the shots when needed. But you just need that small Jimmy Butler explosion. And Duncan Robinson kept them in the game. I don't know how he did it. When you needed him, he was there. He knocked down the 3-point shots. He's putting the ball on the floor, dribbling, scoring points. Off the curl, coming off of Gabe Vincent, causing confusion for the defense on the very first one. He was followed by Christian Brown, and then I'm not sure who the other defender was. It might have been KCP. Followed him as well, leaving Gabe Vincent for a wide open 3. They tried the exact same action again, and it worked. This time with Christian Brown as tad behind Duncan Robinson, and Duncan Robinson scoring the 2, the layup inside. And yeah, Duncan Robinson, you saw a mean mug from Duncan Robinson. I know you all saw that mean mug. I never thought I'd be seeing a Duncan Robinson mean mug in the NBA Finals in 2023, but look where we are. I feel like looking at the statistics, the Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic numbers need to go up, their minutes need to go up, because their numbers are pretty good. Together they have a really high offensive rating. Nikola Jokic had an offensive rating of 151 for the entire game. So I feel like in the finals, especially going into game 3 and 4, you need to go above 44 minutes per game for your players, for the best players in the team. So hopefully Michael Malone can make that adjustment and have more Jokic Gordon minutes, because the size and the passing ability of Jokic makes it a little bit more difficult for Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon didn't seem to get enough touches, especially when he has Max Strus guarding him for a lot of the game. But ratings don't tell the full story, because if you look at the ratings, the defensive rating of Bam Adebayo wasn't anywhere near the best for the Miami Heat. But when Bam Adebayo was off the floor, the Miami Heat defense was terrible. I mean, absolutely vile, revolting, whatever negative connotative word you want to use. The Miami Heat defense was that. It was just terrible. But there was still a lot of bad things from the Denver Nuggets from this game. I mean, they had a good run at the end, but when you're making mistakes like KCP, 3 different times KCP fouled 3-point shooters. There was Kyle Lowry, there was Max Strus, and there was Gabe Vincent as well. 3 different times KCP fouled a 3-point shooter, and all 3 of them was unnecessary. The first one, I remember, end of the shot clock, just fouled him for absolutely no reason. And he's done it twice, and they've ended up losing by 3 points. So when you look at the swing, could this loss be down to KCP? I don't know. But towards the end of the game, the Denver Nuggets came back with a big run, ended up only losing the game through a really tough shot for Jamal Murray. But you live with those shots at the end of the game. You live with those shots because Jamal Murray is a tough shot maker. And on another day, Jamal Murray is knocking that down. But you know what they say, a series doesn't start until the road team wins. And the home team just lost at the Ball Arena. No one expected it. I didn't expect the Denver Nuggets to lose at home, but they did. So now we have a series, and I can't wait until game 3. But I'll be here watching, ready to review it. To keep up to date with all my reviews, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like. I switched it up today, and I'll see you, man, in a bit. Boom.